Good morning. We're finishing with Sefer Vayikra, with Parashat BaHar Behukotay, and I would like to discuss at length, if I may, one parasha that at the end of Sefer Vayikra, which is, good morning, Mrs. Porter, which is Parashat Arachim, the values. And you know that the end of Parashat Behukotay or Sefer Vayikra has a lot of small parshiot. Each one of them is mamash masechta bifnei atzma. We have a small parsha of Arachin, and we have a big masechet of Arachin. We have a small parsha of Tmura. If you make a Tmura, that you say that this animal will be like this, so we have it's forbidden to do it, but if you do it, so vayahu tmurato yekodesh, and we have Masechet Tmura, and we have a small parshiot of Mikna, of Bayit, of Sadeh, and we have to discuss parasha of values of Arachin. I'll say Arachim in Hebrew, but it means values of people from at least two sides. The first one is its location, because we see it at the end of Sefer Vayikra. Why? And the second one, the parasha as it is itself. Okay, what does it say? So if you remember, when we started Sefer Vayikra, actually Sefer Vayikra is very short, because each two parashot are together, Tezria Metzora and the Chemot Kedoshim and BaHar Behukotay, so we don't have many parashot, and it's over. But if you remember, when we started Parashat Vayikra, we said that להקריב קורבנות, עולה או שלמים, that Torah discusses it at length that in Parashat Vayikra and Tzav, is not just details of two different korbanot, but it's a matter of your hargasha towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because unless you sin the Kehilat Shabbat b'shogeg, and then you have korban, you have to bring korban chatat, the korban olah and korban shlamim depend on you, on your decision. And why should you decide to bring olah? Why should you decide to bring shlamim? So it might be that you go to your flock and you have their sheep, or today you're just a cow, so you decide to give it. But as we know, usually in an agricultural society, they have a lot of both of them. They have a lot of sheep, they have a lot of cows. So usually it's just a matter of your feeling towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu, whether you want to devote everything, you feel that you mamash give your whole of yourself to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and then you present it in Korban Olah, or that you bring a HaKadosh Baruch Hu Korban Shlamim, which means that I make a partnership with you, because I want to eat my meat, so we share. I give the Kohanim a little bit, I give you a little bit, I give myself a little bit, and that's the matter of Korban Shlamim. And I think that in this matter, Sefer Vayikra ends with the same thing, because once you want to donate money to Beit HaMikdash, as you know, you have throughout all Seder Kodshim, two ways. You have what we call Kodshei Mizbeach, and we have what we call Kodshei Bedek HaBayit. Kodshei Mizbeach meaning that you donate your cow to Beit HaMikdash, and this specific cow or another cow from your flock, you are responsible to bring Beit HaMikdash a cow. Okay, if this cow dies, so if it's an edava, you are exempt because you said just this one, and if it's another, you have to bring another one. But it goes to be mukrav, okay, to be sacrificed on the mizbeach. Whereas usually you don't give a cow or a sheep, you give money, like to shul. So you donate an amount of money. You decide to give 1,000 shekels to Bedek HaBayit, meaning to say that it goes to the Gabayim of Beit HaMikdash, and they decide what they want to do. They might buy a cow if they have to, but they might renovate Beit HaMikdash, they might paint it or do whatever they want. So if you have the wish to donate money, how would you do it? So yesterday we discussed whether through credit card or Bit or Paybacks, okay? That's what you do today. But in all the ways, you give the money to the shul or to the organization you want to donate to. But let's say that I want to donate 1,000 shekel. I can give a neder. I can bring it by a cherem. I can say this money is muhram to Bet HaMikdash. And we know we have details in Masechet Nedarim of cherem. Cherem doesn't mean a ban like what we say in Hebrew. Cherem means to donate. It's the same thing. I don't know how to translate it, but it's like donate or devote, something like this. And you can give a value. Value, it's a parasha mechudeshet on this parasha, that if I want to give money to Bet HaMikdash, not only that I decide that I give 100 shekels or 200 shekels, I can say that I give the value of myself. And then you look, we'll see it at length in a minute, and you look how old I am, and give the amount that is set to each one of us between certain ages. So why should I give money like this, talking about myself, and then you have to give an assessment how much what my age is, etc. Instead of just giving 100 shekels to Bet HaMikdash. Nowadays it's mamash meyutar, okay? But another time it's a way to devote money or to donate money to Bet HaMikdash. As we started the Sefer by various ways in giving behema to Bet HaMikdash. You can give it in Olah, you can give it shlamim. It depends on your mood, depends on your feeling towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We end the Sefer with the same thing. We end the Sefer with various ways of donating money to Bedek Habayit, to Bet HaMikdash. I can donate a certain schum, a set schum, a certain amount of money. I can give it by cherem. I can be makdish behema, and I can be do it by the parsha of values. So we have to focus the parsha of values on the specific way that I donate the money by choosing the way of values. Another thing that if you remember the first Ramban, the famous Ramban on Vayikra Perek Aleph, Pasuk Tet, the famous Ramban understands that the whole Parshiya of Korbanot. We have a big and famous machloket between the Rambam and Ramban. Rambam in Moreh Nevuchim understands that the whole Parsha of Korbanot is just a matter of history, because we came out of Egypt. All the slaves were among nations of the Avodah Zarah, and you cannot take them out of the Avodah Zarah in a day. So you have to adopt the minhagim of Avodah Zarah. They leavdil, makrivim, they sacrifice to their gods. So we do the same thing to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the Rambam understands from this side a lot of the details of Parashat Korbanot. The Ramban attacks him sharply in Parashat Vayikra, says that it's very, it doesn't look like a choshuv issue if you just imitate the goyim. And then the Ramban understands that it's mamash a sacrifice of yourself. As you want to give your soul to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and instead of you, the behema comes. And if you remember the first korban was Yitzchak on the Akedah. Abraham should have brought his son as a matter of full giving to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And at the end of the day, the Malach told him, no, Al tishlach yadcha el hanar, and he substituted Yitzchak by an eye. So the same thing happens at the end of the Sefer. You think to give yourself, you think to give yourself to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, okay? And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells you, no, if you just have a substitute in a behema, okay? So giving yourself to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is just a matter of money. In Parashat Values tells you that if you want to sacrifice yourself to HaKadosh Baruch Hu never needs your own body and your own full devotion. It just wants you to translate it to deeds, in this case to money. So you're no more than money. And as you, at the beginning of the Sefer, you are no more than a korban that you give to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. At the end of the book, you are no more than money. Let's go now to the Parsha itself, and we'll read it and see some interesting issues. So the Parsha starts immediately after the Behukotay, and Behukotay Telechu, and we have all the curses, and then it ends and starts with פרק כ"ז. וידבר השם אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל, ואמרת עליהם, איש כי יפלי נדר, בערכך נפשות להשם. So as we know, the Torah discusses neder as הפלאה, okay? So I would translate איש כי יפלי, איש, if a person would wonderfully donate his value, okay? But הפלאה in the Mikra doesn't only mean a pele, a wonder, something you look astonished at, but לדבר זה נקרא הפלאה. איש כי ידבר, okay? להפליא נדר, we know that we use the pele with the speech, and the Maharal widens it and explains that a human, according to the Maharal, a human is built from three aspects. He has a mind, the sechel, which is tzelem Elokim, which is his upper maila. He has the dam, the klayot, or whatever it is, just a function as a human being, like an animal. And in the middle, he has the koach hadibur, which is an is a go-between between the sechel and the dam. Therefore, we call the dibur pele, okay? Ish ki yafli neder. If you use your dibur to do something, it's called the pele. So let's go on. וירקך הזכר מבין 20 שנה ועד בין 60 שנה. So from the age of 20 till the age of 60, if it's a man, if it's a male, וירקך 50 שקל בכסף הקודש. Meaning to say that if instead of donating, I say I give my own value, so I give 50 shekel kesef. In Parashat HaChurban in Gittin, we have a lot of tragic stories, and one of them is that a woman said on her son that I would give your erech to Bet HaMikdash, and she weighted her son, and if he was higher, if he was fatter, so she had to give his mishkal to Bet HaMikdash, and here you have almost the same. But as I said before, you are not mentioned, you are not valued by your personality, by your weight. זה לא משנה, it doesn't matter how much you weigh, you have the same money, and it depends just on your age. And you know what? Sometimes you think that you're very strong, you look like at the age of 50, you look like 30. The Torah tells you, no, in this parasha, you are just what you are. If you are at the age of 20 to 60, you are like this, and it doesn't matter whether you are weak or you're very strong, you're very fat or very thin, it doesn't matter. The Torah gives you a set value depending just on your age. So the Torah starts from the main thing, the main koach ha'avodah, between the age of 20 and the age of 60. So if it's a male, 50, ואם נקבה היא, וירקך 30 shekels. So if a woman tells about herself, I give my money, and she is between the age of 20 and 60, we have 30 shekels. pay attention, what is the yachas, what is the comparison between a male and a female? The female is 60% of the value of a person, okay? ואם מבין 5 שנים ועד בין 20 שנה, the Torah doesn't go chronologically, but it starts with the main thing of כוח העבודה, and then a child from the age of 5 till 20, והיה ערכך הזכר 20 שקלים, so we have much less, we're worth much less at the age of 18. We think now the world belongs to the young, but now you can see that the world doesn't belong to the young, because the young people are 20 shekels, meaning 40% of this age, of the main age. Here it's 50, here it's just 20, okay? 40% of koach ha'avoda when I am at the most between 20 and 50. If I am between the age of 5 to 20, I'm worth just 40%. We can understand by talking about a 5-year-old boy, but we cannot understand it when we talk about 18 or 16, that is very strong, maybe more than on an older age. For sure, 40, 50 is weaker than what he was at the age of 18. And even though the Torah tells you it's a matter of an age, we'll see in a table in a minute all the differences. ואם מבין חודש ועד 5 שנים, Torah gives you a third stage. The first one is 20 to 60. The second one is 5 to 20. The third one is from a month till 5 years. We know that till a month, the baby is called, maybe it doesn't live, okay? And that's why just מבין חודש we have the פדיון הבן. ועד 5 שנים, והיה ערכך הזכר 5 שקלים כסף, ולנקבה ערכך 30 שקל כסף. Now the last stage, the fourth stage, ואם מבין 60 בנה, is an older than that, אם זכר והיה ערכך 15 שקל, ולנקבה 10 שקלים. Let's go to a table and see what the difference is, and it's very interesting. So here I have 4 stages. You see the גיל, the age, מגיל חודש ועד גיל 5, מגיל 5 ועד בן 20, מגיל 20 ועד גיל 60, and 60 and more. So I went chronologically, unlike the Torah, that the Torah goes, as I said, starts with this age, the main age. So we see גברים are always more than the women, okay? So in the value, and I stress out again, it's not the koach ha'avoda, because you might be very strong, you might be a very strong person or very effective, you earn a lot in what you do, compared to another person who doesn't do anything. We know that if chas v'shalom a person is mazik, the other one, so he has to pay, according to Parshat Mishpatim, 5 ראשי נזק. נזק, צער, ריפוי, שבט ובושת. בושת, just if he shamed the other one, he pays him. Tsar, he pays, we quantify in a way, how much will I want to suffer, the suffrage, this suffrage, so you pay for that. Ripui, you pay for the doctors, for the hospitality, etc. But we have nezek and we have shevet. What's the difference? So one of them is just the basic cost. Let's say today we'll call it schara minimum. Then it doesn't matter what you do. If you're a lawyer, if you are a physician, if you're a doctor, whatever you are, you pay just for schara minimum. The other aspect adds the difference, because if you hit a shomer of that earns just as schara minimum, is not like hitting a big physician that earns much more, and then you have to compensate him for that. Okay, here you don't have any value related to how much you earn, how much you are worth. There are people at the age of 40, they are very sick, and they are worth nothing. But according to Parashat Arachim, your age symbolizes some stability, and it doesn't matter. But again, to the point, women are worth less. But let's see how much, and let's conclude. Let's make some statistics in this case. So in this main age from 20 to 60, and pay attention, the Torah doesn't separate between the different types, the different gender, men or women. The Torah doesn't say, as we know, that engine, you go, you retire at the age of 62 if you're a woman, and at the age of 67 if you're a man. And למרות, although that תוחלת החיים for woman is longer than a man, man is just 79 and a woman is 83, but the Torah says something different. מגיל 20 ועד גיל 60, גבר is 50, that's a must, and is a wife or a female is 30, 60% of כוח העבודה. If we go to חודש ועד גיל 5, so we have a baby or a very young boy or a girl. We have the same יחס between men and women, 5 to 3, 60%. But a man here 5 and here 50, meaning to say that at the age of 1 month to 5, you are worth a tenth, עשירית, 5, comparing to 50, from what you are in your middle life. With a female, the same thing, 3 compared to 30, you are just a tenth. Let's go to this age from 5 to 20. We are used to say that when you have a daughter compared to a son, so the daughters, the girls develop faster than the boys. We can see that a 6-year-old girl talks better than a boy in her age. And we can see it even in the statistics, because at the age of between 5 and 20, women are 10, meaning to say a third what they are at the most, okay? 33%. But a man is 20 compared to 50, meaning to say 40% from what he is at his most. But compare them, he is 20, she is 10, meaning to say 50%. So we can see that a girl, teenager between the age 5 and 20, the difference, a big difference of 60%, the big difference of 60% between a girl and a boy expands, and we have here a bigger difference. The difference becomes 50%. So she is worth less, because we expected that if he is 20, she would be 12, and even though she is just 10, meaning to say that Torah understands that the value of a female is either equal from months to 5 and from 20 to 60, but from the age 5 to 20, the difference between men and women expands and becomes bigger, and she is just 50% of this, of koach, a value, or whatever we'll call it, and then at the age of 20 it changes again, and the gap between men and women becomes smaller, becomes just a matter of 60%. She is back to 30 out of 50. But when talking about an older age, about 60 and more, okay, so we see that a man is just 15, meaning to say a person is just 30% from what it was here. Okay? His value after the age of 60, we know that in the Torah we count from 20 to 60, let's say in the Dor HaMidbar, the punishment, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives them to the after the Chet HaMeraglim, just a punishment to the people from the age of 20 to 60. Till 20, we are not even mechuyav b'dinei shamayim, and from 60, according to the Torah, the Tochelet HaChaim, they weren't used to live more. So from 60 on, it's just 15, just 30% of what was here. But a woman is 33% of what she was here, meaning to say that she is more than him. And pay attention to the gap between them. Here, he is 15, she is 10, meaning 66%, 2/3. So the gap becomes smaller, meaning to say that a person after the age of 60, the man is more effective than what he was, and the woman compared to him is more effective in the age of 60 and more. Okay, so we have, that's what you can learn from the statistic. The Ibn Ezra asks why we have a separation between a man and a woman, and why do we have bichlal at all in Parashat Arachin the difference between different ages. And he says that it's just Ezrat HaKatuv, we cannot know, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu decide. But Chizkuni says something very interesting. Chizkuni says that if we can see, if you can look at this column, you can see that a woman is between half of a man at the age of 5 to 20 to 2/3. That's the most at the age of after 60. So why is a woman is less than a man? So he says because a woman is taken from the rib of Adam HaRishon, and therefore it's not just a yetzira bifnei atzma, but a secondary creation. So it's not because the Torah thinks that women are less fruitful than men, not because their koach avodah is weaker, even though that it's a matter of a fact, but the Torah says that being taken from the man, from the Adam HaRishon, being taken from his rib, being just a secondary creation, you can no longer be more than between half, 50%, and 2/3 of it. In order to finish, we have to go back to the question that we asked about the location of Parashat Arachim. Then we understood now that the different values and what he says, but why does the Torah give us this way just at the end of Sefer Vayikra? I said before that it has some relevancy to what the Torah started with. If the Torah wants to show you several ways in order to donate your korban, so the Torah gives you several ways in order to donate money at the end of the Sefer. But Ramban says that the Torah waited till Parashat Behukotay. We have all the curses, and at the end of the curses, we see that the Torah gives a big chashivut to Shemitah and Yovel. We start with Parashat BaHar, with the mitzvah of Shemitah, and then the Torah discusses the Yovel with all these chukim. And the Torah says that if you didn't keep Shmitot in Eretz Israel when you were here, so you'll want to do it in the diaspora. So we see the linkage between living in Eretz Israel and the big chiyuv to make Shmitat Haaretz and the Jubilee, the Yovel. After mentioning the chashivut of Yovel in Parashat Behukotay, then the Torah gives us several issues related to the Yovel. One is Batei Arei Choma. If you sell your field, your house, how and you want to redempt it, you want to buy it again. So sometimes you can do it till the Yovel, sometimes you don't have to do it in the Yovel, sometimes it doesn't go back in the Yovel. It has a lot of dinim. Okay, so by mentioning the Yovel, now we can deal with this Parashat Arachin that belongs to the period of Yovel as well. Okay, the Kli Yakar says something differently. The Kli Yakar says that the location of this Parashat Arachim is just after the Klalot, not because of the linkage to Shemitah and Yovel, but because after curses, after tragedy, after being in tzara, you might use your neder. As we know in Parashat Chukat, Sefer Bamidbar, we have the Milchama there after the death of Aharon, ויבוא הכנעני יושב, מלך ערד יושב הנגב, והוא נלחם בישראל, and he makes a fight with עם ישראל, and then ויחרם את עריהם. עם ישראל says, I'll give הקדוש ברוך הוא something. We know it from the Haftarah, the famous Haftarah of Parashat Chukat, the Haftarah of Bat Yiftach. What happens in Bat Yiftach? Yiftach is the leader of the army, and he understands that if HaKadosh Baruch Hu helps him, he has to thank him, to give him something as a matter of thanking. The same thing happens here. After all the klalot of Parashat Behukotay, and the curses and the troubles and the being in the golus, etc., then the Torah goes back and says, okay, you have another way to compensate HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to decide to repent, to decide to give after being in trouble. That's a parasha of Arachin. So according to the Kli Yakar, we don't, it's not a matter of a relation between the end of the Sefer, but it's a local relation with Parashat Klalot and in Parashat Behukotay. So once the Torah had to discuss Parashat Klalot, then the Torah goes to a specific way of the Nedorim, and that's Parashat Arachim. Just to end, what we've done in the Shiur, we have looked in the location. We might relate it to the beginning of the Sefer and see various ways in donating money or korban. We might relate it to the local smichut of Parashat Aklalot of Abrachot, and we looked in Parashat Erchin itself, and we saw that the differences symbolize a difference between a woman and a man. We saw the different ages symbolize different differences between a woman and a man. Unlike what we're used to say, at the age of 5 till 20, we're not at our most, and the difference between men and women is in its maximum. And from the age of 60, I think that it fits what we're used to see in the world. Women get better in their life of 60 and more than men, okay, and therefore the difference between the gap between them mitztamtzem, and is just 2/3. And at the end of the day, the whole thing of Parashat Arachin say that in a certain way, you try to look at yourself as what you earn. You try to look at yourself and how strong you are, how young you think you look, or whatever. But the Torah tells you, no, you do live in frames, and you cannot get out of your age. And sometimes in this parasha, you are no more than your age and your values that the Torah decided what you are, and it doesn't matter who you think you are and how good life you had or bad or how you earn, etc. But you have the same price that the Torah decided. And again, if you decide to donate in this way, you decide to really look at your life, not like what you earned, what you have done, what you have gained, but very, very technically, rationally at your age and see I belong to this group of age, and I give HaKadosh Baruch Hu the money that I belong according to my age. Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, very nice.
Thank you.
Very good.
להתראות. Have a good day.